Here is our Frostpunk 2 review that was written by our guide's editor Tom, converted to video by our editor Ben, and read by me, Scott. Few games have made me feel as stressed as Frostpunk 2. The city is a churning beast that just demands and demands, with spewing steam and filth as you get to deal with many hungry citizens and petulant factions. There are a lot of things for you to juggle. Disastrous cold spells can completely devour your stockpiles and all of your hard-earned meticulous efforts. The game plays like an ever-morphing puzzle that keeps bringing you back to what feels like square one whenever you creep close to cracking it. You can play as a steward guiding a group of survivors as you attempt to establish a sustainable society in a brutal ice age fraught with dangers, not just from the cold, but from a trio of ambitions, needs, and darker leanings of human beings. The focal point is the generator, a hulking industrial colossus churning through fuel to distribute heat and keep everyone alive. You need to gather resources, enact laws, settle feuds between opposing factions, produce food and goods, and explore the Frostland. A lot has changed since the first game. The first being the decision to veer away from building by building placement around the generator to a district and title system. You have extraction districts to mine coal and forests, then you have food, housing, logistics, and the industrial districts all serving a distinct purpose. The need to build in proximity to the generator is gone. However, the trade-off is that it dulls the need to think strategically about building placement, as it loses some of that granular city planning of the original with the simple joy of laying down individual homes or a research centre in the right place. There was a palpable enjoyment in finding the perfect layout for the efficient heat distribution, resource production, and transport, which is more or less gone in Frostpunk 2. Instead, this granularity has shifted to what I would describe best as damage limitation management. Your city is made up of factions and communities, all with their different visions for the future. The machinists will favour efficient but polluting industrial and technological solutions. The foragers favour adaptation and are wary of using machines, and so on. There is no way you can please everyone, and your standing with each of them affects the overall trust that the citizens have in you. You can try to negotiate in the hope it'll steer the vote, like promising to construct a certain building which will have the faction fall into line, but this may cause future problems for you to deal with later down the line. I understand the desire to up the sense of both realism and to mimic the woes and concerns that you'd expect if this would transpire in real life, but I feel like it is something that has been lost in the process. There are never quite enough resources to go around either, especially when the cold really hits, and it's about making sacrifices in the right places. Frostpunk was challenging but always fair. However, the sequel is just downright vicious whenever it's the scarce resources, the compounding consequences of a small mistake early on in the playthrough, or the way you never quite get a sense of being on top of everything. Everything is against you, wanting more and is never relenting, and it can be exhausting. Failure is a feature and it's clear by design, but in doing this, it has shed some of what made the original one of the best city builders out there. It doesn't feel like a tough city builder, and more like a crisis management sim. But with saying this, Frostpunk 2 is a gorgeously designed and atmospheric game. You can almost sense the cold on your fingertips as you click the mouse. Your screen will ice over and crack as massive ice storms swoop in and engulf your city. There's a real sense of urgency and fragility to the whole experience. When the dominoes start to tumble, Frostpunk 2 invokes a sense of helplessness that few other games do, whether city builders or otherwise. We give Frostpunk 2 an 8 out of 10. It's a worthy sequel that ramps the grit and immersion, however I feel like it sheds on some of the original's magic in the pursuit of innovation. If you're looking for any more reviews of your favourite games, then please head over to our site at VideoGamer.com.